Ketu Moon conjunction. This is a very cerebral energy. Anybody who has Ketu Moon conjunction, they definitely have dealt with anxiety, overthinking at some point of time or another. You see, Ketu, Rahu, the nodes, they rule the crown chakra. They're associated with the energy of the crown chakra. Moon and Sun, they are associated with the energy of the third eye. Moon rules feminine aspect of the third eye energy. Sun rules the masculine aspect of your consciousness, of the third eye energy. So how Rahu Moon conjunction is indicative of a soul that has manifested in this lifetime to grow through the experiences associated with the moon, to grow through feminine experiences, the direction, the utilization, the harnessing of the feminine energy. So when you have Ketu Moon, a person is naturally very intuitive. They're naturally quite in tune with the aspects of going with the flow, taking judgment calls. But in this lifetime, they have to grow out of this over dependence on their mind, because Ketu conjunct Moon shows that this individual, through many lifetimes, their soul has undergone many lessons that are associated with matters of the intuition, associated with matters of secrets, associated with matters of the psyche, psychology. So Ketu Moon people, they can tend to become extremely cold, calculative, practical, sometimes borderline paranoid individuals. If I were to give you the best example for this, it would be Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping is the the premier leader of the PLA and China. And if you look at Xi Jinping's state policy, his foreign affairs policy, the way that he governs the state of China, and if you go through various interviews that people have given talking about the kind of leader that he is a leader who is excessively secretive, excessively reliant on all matters of secrecy, espionage, taking very intuitive sort of calls on how to deal with the competition, how to deal with their enemies. And so it is often said that people are almost afraid of coming to Xi Jinping with ideas that conflict from his own, because he is a very practical and sort of an unforgiving person. Now, negative or positive, we're not going to go into those aspects with respect to this conjunction. We're just talking about the energy. You see, whenever Ketu is conjunct the moon, the overall energy is one where there is a lot of psychological prowess at the disposal of this individual. And this individual is going to bank upon this psychological prowess, the ability, in fact, to even read the mood, read people's minds. Ketu conjunct moon can even give you mystics, can even give you psychics, can give you great psychologists. But quite often, what this does is, Ketu conjunct moon drains the power from the moon and directs it towards the north node. The individual knows that, I can take intuitive calls, I can handle secrecy, I can handle all matters that are not really known to me, because the moon represents everything, that is secrets. The moon represents all matters that are not readily known to us, things that we feel, that we may not necessarily have concrete proof of. So the individual with this placement knows that, I can utilize these other aspects anytime I want. What I want to occupy my life with is becoming intellectual, is becoming logical, is becoming rational, is becoming cold, calculative, shrewd. There is a certain level of dryness that is associated with the planet Ketu in Vedic astrology, and the moon is a wet, moon is a soft planet. So when you put Ketu, who is in himself a very fiery and a dry energy, with the moon, this individual has two sides to their personality. One side of their personality is they can be very caring, very loving, very affectionate, even very feminine in their dealings with people, nurturing. And then there is this other side of their personality where, I mean, you probably are not going to even realize what you did wrong to make them cut you off. You're probably not even going to realize what you said that hurt them so much that they, just like that, made you disappear. In the same way that Xi Jinping, made his foreign minister recently and his defense minister just disappeared like that. I mean, the whole of world media was busy asking questions like, where the hell did these two, important leaders of your country go? And no response from them. Why? Because this is the psychological sort of, you can say, strength of warfare that Ketu Moon often employs. The trick here is that I have all of these pretty, beautiful, soft things to say, to offer to you, but should you make a mistake, should you behave with me in any way that makes me feel that I'm being taken advantage of, that makes me feel that I'm the emotional fool, I'm going to give you any more chances. And so Ketu Moon, even if this conjunction is taking place by virtue of the transit of Ketu over your moon, in fact, you can even notice this in the times of the month when your moon is transiting over your natal Ketu. You will see these influences sort of come up. Influences where not much is being said, but a lot is being picked up without even the exchange of any words, any correspondence. Okay, Ketu Moon also forms Grahana Yoga, because anytime the nodes are conjunct the luminaries, which is the sun or the moon, you form, you get Grahana Yoga. However, with Ketu and Moon, the Grahana Yoga is very different from if Rahu was conjunct Moon, or if Rahu was conjunct Sun, or if Ketu was conjunct Sun. Ketu Moon almost is a placement which seems to work pretty well. I would say there are two placements in Grahana Yoga which actually work the best: Rahu Sun and Ketu Moon. Why? Because the sun is a naturally expansive energy. The sun is a naturally dominating masculine force. When you put Rahu with the sun, Rahu expands it further. The individual, is drawn to ideas of fearlessness. The individual is drawn to ideas of dominance. In the same way, the moon being a very feminine planet and Ketu also being a withdrawn energy, these two kind of work very well together. Because this individual wants to stay secretive as much as possible. This individual wants to stay introspective as much as possible. This individual is deliberately going to hold their cards close to their chest until the last moment. It's very difficult to read a person who has Ketu Moon conjunction. Quite often, you will find these people in important positions of leadership in one way or another, and it's very difficult to spot who has Ketu Moon conjunction, because they will go out of their way to hide this aspect of themselves, which is the most prominent aspect in their personality, this aspect of intuitively being able to read between the lines, this aspect of being able to analyze things that you're probably thinking of and it's going to take you a while to arrive at. Ketu Moon is a person who is already thinking 3 or 4 moves ahead. Now, obviously, the efficacy of this nakshatra, efficacy of this placement is going to depend a lot on the nakshatras that it's placed in. Because if it's placed in difficult nakshatras, if you have Ketu Moon and let's say Saturn also there, or if you have Ketu Moon but you have Rahu Saturn, then that blocks the flow of energy here. This conjunction works the best when you, let's say, have Ketu Moon, and that's about it. Rahu is free and they're placed in good sort of nakshatras. Then you will see this person being able to express this highly intuitive, this highly secretive, this highly logical, calculative side of their personality by applying it to the best pursuits. But when it's not working well, you will just see these people act paranoid, cut people off in weird ways, without explanations, shutting people out of their life because they're afraid of being taken advantage of. Suddenly, nullifying deals, agreements that they may have made, walking out of, important conclusions that may have been reached after weeks, hours, etc., of negotiations and things like that. Ketu Moon is a person who can be a great escape artist. You will not be able to catch them. So, when it's working negatively, more of the negative impact is felt by the people surrounding the Ketu Moon person. Okay, but when it's working positively, Ketu Moon person can be a great person to turn to for advice, for leadership in uncertain times when you don't really have a lot of data to make logical choices. You don't really have a lot of rational decision making, flow charts with respect to a situation because you've encountered this the first time. Now, I have been doing a blog series on my website, mental health and astrology. You're encouraged to check that out. And over there, I've talked about, a lot of these conjunctions with the luminaries and the nodes, which can give you mental health problems if you're not able to tap into the energies of that conjunction properly. Ketu Moon conjunction is one such conjunction because look, this placement can even give you extreme paranoia or mental health issues like schizophrenia. The thing is that Ketu conjunct Moon shows that the soul in this lifetime has come with a lot of prior experience in the area of all things secret, all things that are based on feeling and emotion, but you have to outgrow that. However, in the early part of your life, a lot of that is also going to play a huge part in your journey as you move towards Rahu, which is your purpose in this lifetime. The process of outgrowing an energy is tough because you're kind of stuck with that energy until you are able to develop your North Node well enough to rely on it to give you the results that you seek in your life. So quite often, Ketu Moon people, they may want to expedite the process by not first putting in the work that is needed to understand their innate talents, to understand their innate energies, and they may want to just run as far away from feelings, emotions, intuition, the spiritual esoteric side of life, as far away from that as possible. And with Ketu, you cannot really do that because that manifests in the form of weird illnesses, weird problems, hallucinations, listlessness, mind fog or brain fog, as we say. These kind of things can often manifest with Ketu Moon conjunction. So if you have this conjunction and you have been suffering from mental health issues, then that's probably because you need to understand Ketu Moon shows also that some karma is left with the development of the qualities of the moon and their application into your life. So you have to put in some time and work into uncovering and understanding your spiritual gifts, understanding your intuitive gifts. Okay? And once you go through the process of happily, peacefully reconciling these two seemingly irreconcilable aspects of your personality, you will find that you're able to tap into the mystical power of this conjunction, where you will even start encountering interesting coincidences or events that probably are never going to happen to other people in 100 years. For example, you may have Ketu Moon conjunction, and let's say you were trying to get into a college that you really wanted to, because you had some sort of a plan that I want to get into this college. Let's say I want to become a town planner, architect, town planner, okay? And you want to get into that college, but it's just the fees that they are asking for that you cannot afford, and you're short by, let's say, $50,000, okay? Everything else, you've got scholarship, you've got everything ready, you're just short of $50,000, and you have nobody that you can ask that money of. If you have Ketu Moon conjunction and you are very tuned into the powerful energies of this conjunction, if you've taken the time to develop this conjunction, you may well, or if intrinsically it's behaving well in your chart, you may well have a situation where intuitively, you just decide to approach a local business person or approach a local entrepreneur and go to them with the idea that, look, this is what I want to do in life. I just somehow felt drawn to you, and maybe you can help me out, and we can work out how we can do this at a later stage in life together, and I'd pay it back for you. And it materializes as well. Okay? So if you're working well with this conjunction, the opposite can happen. Weird coincidences can take place in your life to help you move forward, to propel you forward towards your life path that will probably be unimaginable for other people. Weird people just walking up to you and sharing insights that they had no reason to give to you, but that you had probably been searching for and that you required in your life. Okay? These kind of things can often also happen with Ketu Moon conjunction. Okay, so all in all, my analysis of Ketu Moon conjunction is that this conjunction has great room for spiritual growth, even material accomplishments. But you have to kind of be wary of the over-controlling nature that it may bring about in your personality. And so you have to, ward off against that. Besides that, I'd say it's a great conjunction. I mean, practice yoga, practice breath work, try to stay as calm as possible, and especially later on in life, it works pretty well. Okay? So, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel so that you can stay abreast of all the wonderful content that I post here. Push the bell icon so that you get notified every single time I post. If you want a personal session with me, then check out the link given here in the description box. It's going to take you to my website. You're going to have to fill up a form. Once I get the form, I'll get back to you with a proposed time for an appointment. Thank you so much. Take care. Adios.